Hello, the Pioneer viewers. How are you doing? I hope you are healthy and well. As the Pioneer team, we continue to share with you the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. In a moment, I will share with you the latest details about a very interesting development on the front line. As it is known, the situation of the Russian army is getting worse day by day, and the discipline simply means the rules set to ensure that individuals who come together for a specific purpose live in an orderly manner, and the measures taken to ensure that these rules are followed in cases where discipline is not maintained or order is disturbed. One of the areas where it is applied most rigorously is the army. The army soldiers learning combat techniques and acting in a certain order to constitute the cornerstones of the military discipline. Units lacking military discipline quickly disintegrate and break down and fail. Especially in the times of the war, there are moments when even seconds are crucial, and these crucial moments, disruption in the chain of command in undisciplined units can have serious consequences. Considering that soldiers in a unit entrust each other with their lives, we can better understand the importance of this situation. As Russia's full-scale invasion plan against Ukraine continues to fail, the armies of the two countries continue to be compared from every angle, and these comparisons are usually based on the numbers and the statistics. However, an important issue that is often overlooked is the motivation and discipline. The Russian army has been suffering from a serious lack of motivation and discipline since the beginning of the war, and these problems have many negative repercussions for the conflicts on the ground. And the Ukrainian army, on the other hand, is increasing its belief in victory every day. Moscow has not taken any measures against these negative situations on the front. However, a recent allegation has caused a great resonance. Now, let me examine the new developments regarding the execution teams that Moscow allegedly sent to the front. And before moving on to our report, I would like to make a small reminder. As the Pioneer team, we strive to bring you the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. We know that I also read all of your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments, and tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start, if you are ready, the Pioneer reports. So, Ukrainian military intelligence has uncovered a shocking fact through information found on the cell phone of a recently captured Russian soldier. According to this information, Moscow is sending special execution squads to the front line to execute Russian soldiers stationed in Ukraine. The Ukrainian Military Intelligence Directorate published an audio recording revealing this situation on its Telegram channel. In the audio recording, a soldier from the Russian army speaks in the desperation as he describes being trapped between the Ukrainian forces and his own troops. The recording has caused an outcry on social media, revealing once again the dark side and brutal face of the war. So in the audio recording, the expressions of the Russian soldiers speaking in despair draw attention. Russian soldiers who are under fire by their own troops express that they don't know what to do with it. And in the recording, the Russian soldier states that only 2 members of his units have survived and all the rest of the soldiers are dead. This situation clearly reveals the brutal nature of the war and the desperate situation of these soldiers as well. In particular, the Russian soldiers' statements is that we have all been replaced by the contract soldiers raises a big question mark. According to local sources, these contract soldiers could be the Russia's barrier troops, known as units tasked with enforcing the military code of conduct. Earlier intelligence reports had indicated that the main task of these barrier units was to execute Russian soldiers trying to flee the war in Ukraine, and intercepted audio recordings revealed the gravity of the situation and were widely circulated on social media and international platforms. The soldiers later reported to a friend that the contract troops would be the prisoners in the Russian-occupied Luhansk region of Ukraine and were being transferred to undisclosed locations. He added that it was no longer possible to return to the military headquarters to find out what was going on, and as he could not even know which way to go because of the heavy concentration of the landmines in the area. When they tried to turn back, they came under the fire from the Russian troops, which surprised and confused them. When the Russian soldier's friend asked if the troops that opened fire on them were really Russian troops, the soldier confirmed that they were in the Kharkiv region, in the field on behalf of Russia, together with the troops from the Luhansk prisons. So when his friends wondered why the group had received an execution order, the soldiers answered, horrified, everyone, they're getting rid of us, he said, explaining that the troops assigned for the disciplinary execution were active on the front line, and the soldiers' last sentence was even more shocking. They're getting rid of us and replacing us with these men. All the documents they need to execute us have been prepared, and we have no choice now. In the light of these developments, the British Ministry of Defense has documented the presence of the Russian execution troops in Ukraine. The report published last November stated that due to the low morale of the Russian troops and the reluctance to fight, Moscow had deployed barrier troops on the front line. This report revealed the brutal nature of the war and the moral problems within the Russian army. The report also emphasized that such execution units were deployed to prevent indiscipline and disobedience at the front and were used to put pressure on other soldiers serving in the war. Ukraine has previously provided evidence that the Russian troops are killing retreating soldiers in its armies, and in recent months, the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, has made public interviews with the 2 Russian prisoners of the war that shed light on the details of such incidents. In these interviews, one of the prisoners stated that he had been ordered to shoot fugitive soldiers in Ukraine, and these statements opened a new window on the harshness and ruthlessness of Russia's war strategies. One of the soldiers who spoke in these interviews published by the Ukrainian Security Service described in details the orders that he was given. The soldier said that he was stationed on the second line of defense on the front line, where the Z attack forces were not allowed to retreat. He admitted that in accordance with this order, he stood ready to open fire on the troops trying to retreat. The execution of these orders demonstrated Russia's strict discipline and ruthless strategies in warfare. So in recent months, videos released by the Ukrainian sources have corroborated these claims. In these videos, 3 Russian soldiers stationed at the front line opened fire on at least 7 Russian soldiers who were trying to retreat. And these images revealing the activities of these execution squads have once again revealed the cruel and inhuman face of the war. But right now it's your turn. What do you think? How do you think Russia's strict discipline and punishment policies on the front line are affecting the dynamics of the war? And do you think that Moscow's harsh measures against its own soldiers can increase military discipline or lead to a demoralization? Let me know in the comments, because you know that I read and I care a lot about all of your comments.